Um, how would I put that? I am an environmentalist, but as soon as I say that I'm an environmentalist, everyone thinks I'm a Democrat. But why can't I be both? Why can't I believe that we should be fiscally sound, but we should also be moving towards sustainable energy? So that that is a little bit of a misnomer because now you're like, well, he's partly liberal and partly conservative. Yeah, I can be two things at the same time. Here is the thing. I don't think that we should be burning just oil and heating up our climate. I don't think that there's any doubt that the climate is heating up, the climate is changing, and that there's problems. Here's my problem, though, is if you completely 100% turn it off without a viable alternative, what are people supposed to do? Just sit in their homes and never leave, never drive anywhere, don't go to school anymore, don't buy anything anymore, don't have the air conditioning on anymore. I don't know, like, what is the option? Like, so I feel that we should be funneling money into finding alternatives and pushing that way. But I just don't think that just slamming the door shut is a great idea. The same thing when it comes to foods. I think that, if you have no gas in your car, you might not drive somewhere. Okay, you might not go to church or something one day. But if you have no food, now you're going to die. And if you're in way northern climates, if you have no electricity, no heat, you're going to die. So I really feel that we need to be being fiscally conservative, not spraying money everywhere, and at the same time funneling to try to change it. We need both things at the same time. Why are governments paying farmers to destroy food crops and not plant crops? I don't know. Leo May, I'm not really sure if the governments are paying farmers to destroy food. I don't know, but they for sure are making food a lot more expensive by a lot of their systems that they have in place. Going back to what I just said before, yes, I think fertilizers have nitrogen. It's made from nitrogen, made from gas products, petroleum products. Yes, it's not good for the environment to have tons of fertilizer. Okay, agreed. But what are the alternative? The alternative of going and starving hundreds of millions of people and not having enough food for everybody, and food inflation going up, and people like I saw at the front of a line having to make a decision between buying food or buying their medicine. Yeah, that's a problem. So I think we should be putting more money into trying to develop more calories for people somehow where they can sustain themselves. Um, Good question. Are empty homes a problem? Yes, empty homes are a problem. They're a big problem in Japan. I think it was like 9 million homes in Japan. China, we don't have good data on. It could be 10, it could be 20 million empty homes. But after their population has a massive drop in population over the next 15, 20 years, then you're going to have even more homes that are empty. And so that's a big problem. Remember, in the US in 2007, part of the collapse was there was empty homes everywhere. Today, the US is short, I think, 6 million homes. Canada is short like 1.5 million homes. So we are short homes for people. But at the same time, Toronto and the rest of Canada has something in the neighborhood around 1 million empty homes. And why are they empty? It's not empty because no one's buying them. People are buying them, people from overseas and people within Canada, and just leaving them empty. Why would I? And this is a great idea. Why wouldn't I leave the home empty? Why would I rent it out, risk somebody breaking all my stuff, damaging it, calling me in the middle of the night to make 3% per year when I can sit back and do nothing? And now I can still make 10%, 12% per year on the unit appreciation. Why would I go through all that headache for only three? You know what I mean? So that's what a lot of people do. Oh man, I just got another batch of questions, you guys. Woo! You guys whammed me. That's good. All right. Let me see if I can get through them. Sometimes it comes all together. Do you think that China real estate contagion spill over to Western countries and countries like BlackRock? Absolutely, 1,000%. How can a country, China and everything, we're not like different countries anymore. That's like 100 years ago. We are now so intrinsically linked that if something happens here, their stock market gets hit. If something happens there, it hits here. You don't think that $1 trillion getting sucked out of the market is going to affect here? Absolutely. This is like throwing a giant rock in a pool and just watching those ripple effects go around the world. I have one rental with about $400 a month cash flow and just started renting out your basement with nice. Good job. You got a property. This is user 14579. One of you. You have one rental, $400 a month cash flow. Amazing renting out your basement. Great. Couldn't have coached you any better. Equity from the rental is maxed out. Okay, but my basement is $1,800 a month. Looking to buy our next place. Great, man. That's wonderful. Always be looking for deals. So it really depends where you're buying right now, what homes that you own, what types of homes that you own. Remember, real estate is not real estate. Commercial is different than residential. That's why I say the Toronto is like a city of 99 neighborhoods. You really need to pick the right places and the right type of real estate in that. Is it better to get 5-year fixed or variable rates? So as you guys know, if any of you have been following for any length of time, last year, October, November, December, January, February, I was telling everyone fix nonstop. Even when they first raised their first rates, I was saying fix. So now that it has gone up quite considerably, it's remember, nothing is certainties. It's only probabilities. And the likelihood is they will raise it again in September. But remember this, even if they just leave the rates where they are and don't even touch them another millimeter, all these people that have adjustable rate mortgages or even fixed rate mortgages, they have to renegotiate them every 5 years in Canada. No matter what, even if they leave it for the next 5 years and don't raise it or drop it, the majority of people will be priced out and not be able to hang on to their properties. So the damage will be coming more and more and more as time goes on. So right now, I think they will raise rates another time in September, most likely. But once the economy starts going down, remember I said there's no fear, there's no paranoia in the market right now, none. So as more fear and paranoia creep into the market, you're going to see this drop. And when that drops, the market drops. I mean, 99% of the time, the government slash all their rates back down to nothing again. Somewhere that will provide more monthly cash flow won't be ready for 3 years. Listen, as the economy takes its dive, you got to be ready because that's when you're going to have some opportunities to buy some really great properties. Hey, yeah, you live in Barrie, 45 minutes north of Toronto. Great place to live. I have a lot of friends that live there. We operate there too. We're buying properties for people all the time. But remember, we are brokers. I'm a broker. I have agents that work for me. So we operate in Barrie over to Oshawa all the way to Niagara Falls. But we also act as consultants for people who are buying all over Canada and the United States as well when we're looking at their properties, trying to find them cash flowing properties. So a lot of people want to live where they want to buy their home. So we help them do that. Some people are very insistent that the properties that they buy will be within 500 meters of their home. So we help them with that as well. Sometimes though, they say we want to think outside the box, do a little bit of more David style when we start buying properties in other countries and other provinces. And that's where we consult with them to help them build their portfolios better. But I know Barrie very, very well. Tony, has the builder start to lay off? Not really. You haven't even seen anything yet. There is a little bit. They are laying them off. Yes, mostly in the towers, though, downtown. Not as much in the suburbs where they're building homes. Yes. Leo May, you said people in Canada are not able to afford a place to live. I totally agree. And homelessness is growing. It's terrible. Yeah. When will interest rates go down? So the likelihood of interest rates going down, we don't know. Remember, there are no certainties, only probabilities. But if I was going to guess, there are some bad things happening. September, food shortages, October, more food shortage. They're going to be giving those announcements. They haven't had really good crop yields this year. So we know prices will go way up, food inflation up. Fourth quarter, they'll be announcing all of the holiday spending in January and February. When they announce that the bullwhip effect has taken effect and that there is not a lot of sales, the stocks will have to drop a lot, and that will affect home buyers. Why? As the stocks drop, the companies then have to lay off their employees. They lay off their employees, they can't pay for mortgages. It's like this negative doom loop that goes down. So I think that interest rates would probably drop sometime next year. Who knows? March, April, May, something like that. Real estate prices rising above monthly income. Absolutely. I was just looking at a chart of the United States back in 2006, 7, 8. The property values were going 4 times someone's salary, 5 times someone's salary, all the way up to 8 times someone's salary, national level. But then what happened? It dropped all the way back down to 4 or 5 when we were going through 2010, 11, 12. Now it's been creeping up and up and up for a decade. And where are we now? We're right back in the United States to 8.5 all-time record high. In Canada, it's crazy here. It is colder. Homes are more expensive, but they generally say 10 times your income. But there are places in Toronto right now that are sitting at 30 times the average income of the area. Absolutely crazy. Um, so invest with TJ. This is a good question. Why do you think there's going to be a food crisis? So what I would suggest for you is to go read this book. The End of the World is just the beginning. Very fascinating. Also, I want you to start thinking about, are we already in a food crisis right now? So when you go to the store and you find your items are going up in price every week or every 2 weeks, up and up and up, shows you that there is a food shortage because there is not a lot of it to go around. That's why the prices keep going up. There is so much that is happening right now on that food front. So we have the world's number one and number two, is it, or something like that, food exporter, all of Russia, all of Ukraine in a massive battle. I think they make 1/3 of the world's wheat, 1/5 of the world's corn. All of it is offline. China has banned the export of fertilizer, as has I think 8 countries or 12 countries banning the export of that. Indonesia banned the export of palm oil. Then we had India went into 51-degree heat. All their crops died. Sri Lanka was trying to grow it all without fertilizer. They went into a massive food crisis and collapsed. We didn't have enough food before this. And now that all of this has happened, there's less and less food to go around, which means there has to be millions starving, which is absolutely terrible. And you're not going to see it in Canada or United States where the shelves will be empty. The prices will just, where could they go? I don't know. They could double. They could triple. It really depends how good the crops are this year. But there's no signs to show that it's going to be good or even normal. It's going to be way less. The question is how much less? You're encouraging profits so high that members of our society are becoming homeless. You're encouraging profits so high that members of our, I don't know what that means. But I want you, yes, to take opportunity when these times happen and try to make money. Absolutely. Wouldn't interest rates go up if inflation with food prices go up? They don't work together. Invest with TJ. TJ, interest rates don't necessarily go with food prices. They're independent. September interest rates. Yeah. I mean, September interest rate going up is probably like a 95% chance that it's going to go up. How much? 3/4, 1 or 1 1/4, something like that. Truckloads of potatoes were destroyed by PI this year by the government. I don't know anything about that. Sorry, I didn't read that. If you do have the article, can you send it to me? I would like to see it. So user 145 there, with food prices almost guaranteed to go up, are there any stocks that you'd recommend to buy or short? So I don't short. Way too risky for me. I'm not smart enough for that. Things that I buy, I do buy some stocks, but I usually buy safe ones. But I do like Jim Rogers' agricultural and commodities index. He's got 2 of them. Those are ones that I've been buying for years. Yeah, and food. Can we go back to that question? This is to that number to count. If food prices are guaranteed to go up, my number one thing that I would say that you should be investing in today would be to be buying food for yourself. If you know that everything is going to go up in price because we have to make it all internally now, we're not going to be able to get everything made in China for cheaper, for example, then things that you will use anyway. I don't want you to go buy anything special, but if you said I buy a new pack of t-shirts every year, go buy another pack. If I need a new pair of socks every year, go buy a couple packs. Make sure that you go buy beans and lentils and rice and fruits and vegetables in cans and have meat in your freezer. Why don't you have 6 months, 9 months of food stocked up? I know that I use an X amount of cans of coffee every month. And so I know that coffee is good for 9 months. So I buy 9 months worth. I know I'm going to use it anyway. I'm not going to buy anything special. I just make sure I'm always stocked up. If you wanted to make sure that you were going to, remember, a penny saved is a penny earned. If you're going to save money, just that is the first place I would be stocking up on. Stocking up your home on all the goods that you use normally. And it could be clothes, cosmetics, toothpaste, shampoo, soap, all those things. Why don't you buy it now? If your kid's in diapers, go buy diapers the few sizes ahead, because we know there's going to be shortages and price increases later. Opportunity to raise real estate so high. Yeah, I know. It keeps going up and up and up. But remember, the rules are the same for everybody. When I met my wife, I was dead broke. I had no money. I had trouble paying for food. I was really, really hungry. I was putting my rent on credit cards. I had nothing. But what did I do is I said, this cannot be the way. And I started reading one book every single week. And I started religiously studying. And then guess what I did? I did my first job from 8 to 4. And then I got onto my second job. And my second job, I started learning and working from another 4 or 5 hours per night, and then studying for another 1 or 2 hours. Now I put in the time for a decade. Reading, learning, keep on pushing myself. You guys could go do it too. Just go buy one coin. You can buy a coin for $30. Just start there, and start building. I was able to change my life around. I think everybody can. TJ, September internet interest rate 70.75% will destroy real sentiment. Yep, for sure. And they are trying to cause a recession, but we already are in a recession. Whether or not that the government wants to change their definitions of what recession is, a bunch of malarkey for me, man.